Hey there, this is Matthew with Human Rights House Foundation here in Geneva. Well, we are at the onset of the 42nd session of the United Nations Human Rights Council, and with it, of course, comes opportunities for raising and addressing some of the many challenges that human rights houses and their members and wider civil society face across the region. During this session, we will be hosting two delegations, one of which comes to focus on Ukraine, specifically freedom of expression and the situation of political prisoners. The other is coming from Hungary and Poland. We will be co-sponsoring a side event with this delegation on the independence of the judiciary and specifically the attacks on judges. We're lucky that this delegation will also include a Polish judge who will have first-hand evidence of the sorts of attacks that occur against judges. Also during this session there will be a particular focus on reprisals. We have been taking part in a consultation process led by Paraguay, which will lead to a new resolution on reprisals. During this process, we have sought to raise the various attacks that are made against human rights defenders, against lawyers, against journalists, for their work in seeking to engage with international human rights mechanisms. We've also raised the sorts of policy and legislation that governments enact to try and stop and thwart defenders and journalists and lawyers and others from even engaging with the international mechanisms in the first place, including, for instance, foreign funding restrictions, travel bans, denial of travel documentation, and the like. During the session, we will also take part in an interactive dialogue with the Assistant Secretary General on reprisals, following on from the new report of the Secretary General, which highlights a record 47 countries who have been documented over the previous month for carrying out some form of reprisal against human rights defenders and others. We will make a statement during that interactive dialogue and highlight several country situations. We'll also be engaging with a new resolution on national human rights follow-up systems. As part of that resolution, we're looking for strong language, encouraging governments to be seeking meaningful and systematic dialogues with their civil society on their human rights obligations. This we see as a key follow-up to the sorts of commitments that were made as part of the 20th anniversary of the Declaration on Human Rights Defenders. We'll also be following the resolution process on human rights and counterterrorism and seeking language that addresses some of the really pernicious effects, human rights effects of anti-extremist and counterterrorism legislation that we see across the wider region. We will, during the session, be making oral statements on both Ukraine and Georgia during their interactive dialogues with High Commissioner for Human Rights. And finally, we have an opportunity to take part in a question and answer session with candidate countries for membership of the Human Rights Council. Among Eastern European group members, Moldova, Poland and Armenia are all running for what is effectively 2 seats on the Human Rights Council from next year. We see this as a real opportunity to push the governments of those states to make commitments around their domestic human rights policies and to make assurances that they will be actively engaging with their civil societies in relation to their Human Rights Council membership. So this is really an exciting opportunity to push them as they run for the 2 seats that are available from the Eastern Europe group from next year. So that's it from me. As always, please do get in touch if you have any comments and questions, and we will certainly endeavour to come back to you at the end of the session with an update on our progress. That's it from me, and bye for now.